What's good, y'all? Welcome back to Kid Taj. And as you guys know, the Boston Celtics are in a pretty comfortable position in the Eastern Conference right now. The second seed, right behind LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. It seems like they have everything under control, but it becomes a narrative with most teams that are ranked either second or third in the Eastern Conference. They're good teams, but they don't have enough to take down LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. And it's been like that through the years. Teams just haven't had enough to take down LBJ in the Eastern Conference. That's why we've seen him 6 consecutive times in the NBA Finals, and we will likely see him there again, unless maybe Boston decides to pull the trigger on some of these trades. As you guys know, Boston has all these picks. Brooklyn Nets picks from the KG and Paul Pierce trade. They have leverage. They can get a star player. Teams are willing to deal star players in exchange for those picks or for pieces that, they could help build a team with, something like that. But we all know that the Celtics are in control of a lot of these great picks, the picks that could be used to draft a guy like Markelle Fultz next year, Alonzo Ball, and a great player in the 2018 NBA draft as well. Even, it's very likely that the Boston Celtics can get a superstar from another team on their team by whether it be, this trade deadline or in the offseason after this season. But they really should do it this year, because honestly, when you look at them, they're so close. I mean, they really are one superstar away from being a championship contender. I don't think they're a contender yet, just because I don't think they have enough. They have flaws, and those flaws could definitely be exploited by these great teams like the Cavs, Warriors, Spurs, whoever it may be, which is why I don't think that they will be in the NBA Finals. I think they will lose in the playoffs against the Wizards if they aren't to go out and get somebody. Now, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like. This was a very long intro. Comment an idea down below what video you want to see from me. I've done suggestions the last few days until this was a big headline I want to cover, because there's a lot of things I'd like to tell you guys that you guys might not know. Subscribe if you're new. Let's get going. In this video, I'm going to be listing off 5 stars that are probably the 5 most likely players, or 5 stars that have been looked at by the Boston Celtics that may end up being in green by the end of the trade deadline or even next season. But we're looking at this season because it's all about now. It's all about the present. The trade deadline is now. It's in a few days, 2 days to be exact. The Boston Celtics have 2 days to make a deal. So here's our first star, Jimmy Butler. JB's been in Boston Celtics trade rumors since last off-season. I mean, it seems like a day doesn't go by when we don't hear about something to do with Jimmy Butler and trade rumors to the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics are looking for another guy, another star, and Jimmy Butler's pretty much a perfect build for that next spot. He's another guy that you can rely on. He'll give Isaiah Thomas some help, and he has experience. He's a small forward that can do everything, and he will definitely help this team become a contender. The hard part about acquiring Jimmy Butler is the fact that the Bulls don't want to give him away. They've declared him, I believe, untouchable as of today. I think they said that he's the one guy they're not trading, and the Celtics are likely to look into other commodities. A reason why the Celtics didn't pull the trigger on that Cousins trade was because they were interested in trading for Jimmy Butler, and the Bulls didn't want to give up Jimmy Butler, which I like. I'm glad. But, Bulls front office is up to some stupid stuff most of the time, so you really never know. They might end up pulling a Sacramento Kings, and, we're not going to trade our star player, and then next thing you know, he's gone. Next player we're going to talk about is Carmelo Anthony. This one is very interesting because last night, Isaiah Thomas sent out this cryptic tweet, and if you guys don't know, Isaiah Thomas sent out a tweet just like this right before the Al Horford signing this offseason. It seems to be a message, a foreshadowing of big things. Something big is going down, and the internet went nuts. And you guys might have heard about this, but Isaiah Thomas, he's doing this, and we're thinking, oh shit, what's going on? Who's coming to Boston? Well, nothing happened overnight. We're really still trying to figure it out, and it would be very strange to me if, that didn't amount to anything at all, because it seems like that would be weird if he just did that randomly. I don't know. What is the reasoning for that? Maybe it was, maybe it was a premature thing, but, we don't know. Anyway, you guys saw the stuff about Carmelo Anthony that I already showed up on the screen about how the Boston Celtics Instagram just followed him. The Boston or Melo to Boston Twitter thing was trending. Like, it was weird, and we thought, oh, well, Isaiah Thomas tweeted the eyes, Boston just followed Carmelo, Melo to Boston is trending, okay, it's gotta be Melo going there. But it wasn't, and we also saw that Melo was hinting, he's like, well, something big, I don't know, it was weird. It was something about, he would waive his trade clause for the Celtics, and the Celtics maybe, I don't know. I mean, nothing's happened, but maybe there's a deal in the making. Maybe it's already happened. We just haven't heard about it. I don't know. Maybe by the time this video's out, Carmelo Anthony has been traded to the Boston Celtics. I don't know, but, there's a bunch of weird shit going on last night, and he's definitely in the rumors. He's definitely one of the guys that could end up there in the next few days. That would be crazy as well. The third guy that I'm going to be talking about is Paul George. We did hear a lot about Paul George. He's not going to sign that contract extension with the Pacers, which, makes it seem like, hey, Pacers aren't sure if they want to hold on to him right now because his contract expires in 2018, but it's unlikely that the Pacers are going to be contending for a title before 2018. They're probably going to have, if they want to build a team around Paul George, they're going to have to get some guys, and Paul George said he's not going to commit to it until they get somebody, they make some additions. They improve their squad. Maybe if they do that, then they can feel... I mean, I don't know. It's not easy for a team like Indiana to acquire like a big name free agent because they're not like the most attractive commodity. Indiana Pacers, they might be worried because, oh, well, we might not acquire something. We might not get championship caliber talent on our team before 2018 and Paul George just leaves for good. And so they're just thinking, well, we got to get rid of him and get some value back for him before it's too late, before we can't trade him, before he's gone for good. Anyway, Indiana has reason to trade him. Boston, like I said, they want a star, any star. They'll take, anything that will help them get to the championship, and Paul George is definitely something that will do that. He's a two-way force. He shoots the three extremely well. So a 3-and-D guy to the max, and he can do a ton of other things. He's a good rebounder. He's a good playmaker. He can score from anywhere. And he fits right in with this team. He doesn't need the ball in his hands all the time. He can play off of people. He can play the 2 or the 3. He's extremely versatile, and he's the guy that the Boston Celtics, they really should be pursuing. And I'm also hearing that he's more likely to leave than Jimmy Butler, which makes sense because Jimmy Butler, they said he was untouchable. But Paul George, I mean, the Pacers might just pull the trigger on something like this. I mean, you don't know. This is not ruled out yet. The Melo and Paul George things, these things could happen, okay? I'm not just saying this. Now, fourth guy I'm going to be talking about is Blake Griffin. Blake, we hear about trade rumors from Blake time to time, and it's mostly because he's going to be a free agent at the end of this season. They don't know if he's going to resign. CP3 said, and this might hint towards, the Clippers not wanting to trade Blake. CP3 says that he's committing to re-signing, verbally committing to re-signing, so we can get rid of all of that CP3 back to New Orleans talk. But most importantly, this makes it so you have a stable. I mean, because DeAndre Jordan's going to be there. CP3 says he's going to be there. Blake Griffin might be like, well, those guys are staying. I'm going to stay too. We have a really good team here, or maybe he's just tired of it. I think you got to get a statement from Blake Griffin. You got to know what he's thinking. And if he's not gonna resign, you gotta trade him. You gotta get something back for him. So obviously there's a reason for the Clippers to be wanting to trade him. Him going to the Celtics, again, you get another star. Their power forward position, their bigs aren't really, they're not playoff caliber bigs. I mean, Al Horford's a really good player. Amir Johnson, he's borderline, but the big thing is the Celtics are a terrible rebounding team. If you want to survive in the playoffs, you need to be able to rebound well. They're going to need to get a guy that can rebound, which is why they're going after this guy, number 5 on this list. This is not a rank, by the way. This is just like 5 players. Don't just forget I said that. Anyway, Andre Drummond is the 5th guy that the Celtics are targeting that we're hearing about. The Pistons, they're looking to trade. I mean, we've seen Reggie Jackson rumors, Andre Drummond rumors, the 2 best players on this team. Maybe Reggie's not one of the 2 best players anymore. I don't know. He's fallen off. They want to trade him because he doesn't really fit with the team. They're better without him. They've been better without him this season. But Andre Drummond is the best player on this team, and he's the guy that the Celtics really want. I mean, honestly, if you're the Boston Celtics, you lack rebounding. You need more stability, and Andre Drummond's a playoff big. I mean, this guy will grind out. He will play extremely well in a playoff series, likely because it's more physical. That suits him better. You get a hold of Andre Drummond, and Boston, they really have some great players on their hands now. I don't know Detroit's motives, like why they want to trade Andre Drummond. He's young. He's supposedly a franchise centerpiece, or maybe not. Maybe they're realizing that he's not the guy they want to build around. He's not a first option on a championship caliber team. They trade him away to Boston, where he doesn't have to be the first guy, but he can be a great player playing a role that suits him better. And the Pistons, maybe they go into rebuild mode, because if you trade Drummond, if you're the Pistons, you're probably going to trade Reggie Jackson too. You're probably going to get as much value as you can and get some younger players, or just draft picks or something like that, so you can rebuild your team. Because if you're trading Drummond, you're probably, I mean, you're not going to do anything without Drummond. I mean, KCP is a great player. You're going to keep him. I think Morris and Harris are safe. But Reggie Jackson, yeah, he hasn't been good this year. Andre Drummond, he's fallen off a little bit, but he's still the best player on this team. I think they're going to get rid of, or they could, he's like a guy they could get rid of, and the Boston Celtics should be interested in him. So that's it. Those are 5 guys the Boston Celtics could really use in a playoff atmosphere, you know, if they want to contend, because I don't think they're contending right now. I don't think they have enough, but that's why they're trying to trade. That's the reason why, because I think Danny Ainge knows that this team isn't enough. This team's not going to win a championship most likely, unless you get LeBron James injured. Like, that's the only way I could see it. Or and Steph Curry and Kevin, like it's just not going to happen. They're not going to beat the Cavs or the Warriors, or the Spurs or the Wizards. To me, I don't think they have the firepower to do that, which is why they need to make one of these trades, which is why, you know, these guys, I mean, they could go ahead and they could fork over their assets and get a Paul George or an Andre Drummond or a Melo, someone that will help them. I think it's not good. I don't think Melo's the good option, because Melo's older. He doesn't do as much. He's not as good defensively. He's really there to score and to shoot the ball. Andre Drummond, I think, would be genius. Paul George would be genius. Jimmy Butler would, you know, if he wasn't in a safe place right now, I think. But yeah, again, like, you never know with the Bulls management. Blake Griffin, I don't know about Blake Griffin. He would definitely help them, but, you know, it's just weird to me. I need to think about that one a little bit more. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to leave a like, comment, and idea down below. Subscribe if you're new. I'm out. Thanks for watching, y'all. Peace.